that I can think of in any previous generation. I mean, the millennials, and every time the boys try to act like boys and be men, they get chastised for it. Let's face it. I mean, and if you think that this is learned behavior, look, I know of a 4-year-old boy, and this kid is going to be an ultra masculine kid when he grows up, as long as his mother doesn't tame it. Naturally, the kid nobody's teaching him. He's 4 years old. Nobody's teaching him how to be a boy. I mean, his mother doesn't try to make him a boy or a girl. She has a lot of what do they call it? Gender neutral toys. But let me tell you something. This kid is a boy. He's interested in what everybody believes boys should be interested in. I mean, he's rough. When he plays with other boys, he's aggressive, not in a bad or mean way. He knows his limits, but he's aggressive. He loves cars. He likes to take things apart and build. He's interested in construction. Everything that you think a boy would be interested in, this kid is a boy. Even though his mother gets him mostly gender neutral toys, and doesn't really, and his mother and father they split. So they're not together. So, and the father is still around, but not very often. So it's not like he's getting this huge male influence from his father. But the kid is just a boy. But that's the way a lot of boys are until it is beaten out of them. Because we're different. And by the same token, next door neighbor, a neighbor of mine has little girls. No, they're the girliest girls you'll ever see. But their mom is actually not a girly girl. But these little girls are. And she's like, yeah, they only want to wear dresses, and they only want to do girl stuff. And as long as mom doesn't beat it out of them, they will probably grow up to be what we would probably classify as lipstick girls. They will be girly girls. Nothing wrong with that either, but it's this natural state that they're in. Look, kids are taught a lot of things as they grow up, and one of them is how not to be who they were born to be. So we got to be careful of that, because now we're starting to see it in millennials, and these millennial boys, I tell you, they're the male. I can't call them men because they don't act like, and I know they're in their 20s, but they don't act like men, many of them. It's a good, significant portion of that generation has been raised as girly men. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I don't think you're going to see, Generation X or baby boomers or World War II, the greatest generation, Depression era babies wearing man buns. I don't think you're going to see them doing that. And this is I guess they think it's cool. I think it looks foolish and ridiculous, but they're just I'm not a hipster when it comes to fashion anyway. So who am I to talk about fashion and trends and all that kind of stuff? I like the classics. I would so like to go back to the days of the 50s and 60s, Mad Men. Guys dressed like guys and gals dressed like gals, and guys wore wonderful hats and they dressed for the occasion. There was a time in this country when you actually wore your Sunday best to go on a trip. So if you rode the bus, or if you flew in an airplane, or you got on the train, most people were dressed for the occasion. Not today, man. You get on the airplane today, and people are in cutoffs and tank tops and just raggedy stuff. They don't care. Like, have some pride in your appearance at least. I can understand if you go a few days without shaving, you're traveling, got it. But for God's sakes, man, if you're going to have a beard, keep it trimmed or something. And the hair too, do something with the hair. I hate it when my hair gets too long and I don't have time to get to my hairstylist, if you will, basically a female barber. I hate it when I don't get my hair trimmed and cut when I can't make it because I think it looks terrible. Not that I'm obsessed with my appearance, but I have a certain amount of pride in my appearance, and I think people should take the time to look their best for other people. Nobody wants to see a dirty, grungy, grubby, grimy, person next to them. I don't like it. I don't say that they have to be, model quality, but even if you're overweight, even if you're fat, it's no excuse to look dumpy and uncouth and unshaven, and you can still look neat. Guess that's the whole point. Just take a little bit of personal pride in yourself. You'll get a lot farther too, in both in your personal relationships and your business relationships, if you just take a little bit of pride. And it doesn't matter where you work, even if you're blue collar. If you take a little pride in how you look, you're going to end up earning more than the guy that doesn't take care of how he looks. Just the historical fact, folks. We've got some issues in our schools again. Got some issues in our schools. When I saw these come across my newsfeed, it's just another one of those days where I'm shaking my head. SMH, and of course it's out there on the left coast. But this from Daily Caller, dailycaller.com. San Francisco Middle School cancels. Now, it's another one of those headlines that when I first read it, I thought it was a joke. I did. I thought it was a joke. But San Francisco middle schoolers cancels student elections. Now, frankly, it's one thing, I thought elections were, popularity contests anyway, and I thought they'd be getting rid of student government and elections and that type of thing. Because, there's winners and there's losers, and that goes against the whole liberal mantra of everybody's a winner. And obviously, everybody can't win in a student election. You're going to have a winner, and you're going to have, and everybody else who's running for that particular office that doesn't get elected is a loser. But now it doesn't matter who the kids vote for, because the school's going to step in. And in this particular case, out in San Francisco, San Francisco Middle School canceled student elections because too many white students got elected. I kid, that is the headline. San Francisco Middle School cancels student elections because too many white people elected. A student government election at a San Francisco middle school had its results ignored after the principal decided the candidates elected were too white. Now, who's paying attention to race now and melatonin levels in skin? Is it the kids? Well, obviously not, because they were obviously voting for who they wanted to vote for. And they probably didn't care if they were white, black, red, yellow, brown, pink, purple. If you think you can't have a pink or purple child, you haven't been to school lately. Elections were held at Everett Middle School back on October 10th, but on October 14th, Principal Lena Van Haren sent an email to parents saying the results were being ignored without being made public because those elected... She didn't even make the winners public. She just decided. Now, she sent an email to parents saying that the results were being ignored without being made public because those elected did not reflect how diverse the school is. While Everett is more than 80% non-white, Van Haren said the election results weren't representative of that. Who cares? It's who the kids elected. What are we gonna start now running around the country and saying, okay, no, this state you can't. We're gonna ignore your election results in this state because too many white people were elected and more than 50% of your population is non-white, so you got to vote for some non-white people in order for it to be valid. Now, the principal says that is concerning to me because as principal, I want to make sure the voices of all are heard from all backgrounds. But at least one of the middle schoolers who ran is calling Van Haren out for her rhetoric. Yeah, the kid's right. The organizers are saying things like, we want everyone's voice to be heard, but in truth, the voters' voices are not being heard. Seventh grader Sebastian Kaplan said, the whole school voted for those people, so it's not like people rigged the game, but in a way, now it's kind of being rigged. Exactly. This kid's got the 911 or the 411 on this. He knows exactly what's going on. The principal just didn't like it. The kids didn't care. They voted for who they wanted to vote for. But now you come this big bad principal, this white female. By the way, she's white. This white female who's now feeling so guilty that all these white students got elected over, and the student body is 80% non-white. I don't even know what non-white is. It really depends on what they're considering to be non-white. Because remember, now down in Florida, George Zimmerman is a white Latino. So I'm really confused as to exactly what is non-white. So you got, are they counting white Latinos? Or I don't know, maybe Greeks and Italians, Southern Italians, because they don't look white, they got a tan. Maybe they're not considered to be white. Maybe they're non-white. And the interesting point is that she didn't make the results known, so nobody knows what the hell she's talking about. Too many white people how many got elected? We don't know because she didn't release the results. I mean, I don't know all the offices that they were, the kids were voting for, but let's say there's 10. Now, was she upset because 3 white people got elected? And remember, so that would mean 7 out of 10 who are elected were non-white. But remember, the school population is 8 out of 10 is non-white. So is that too many? 3? 3 out of the 10? I don't know. Well, I don't know. Did a white Latino get elected and is considered to be white? I don't know. This teacher isn't released. And this is why I always ask, why the hell are you people sending your kids to public schools? I've already taken away every freaking excuse that you could possibly have. Your kids have to deal with this on a daily basis. Now, here's a white female principal who is feeling, self-loathing and self-shame, and she's putting it out onto all of her students. Now, the principal went on to say that she is considering a variety of fixes to the problem, including appointing several new positions in order to ensure more minorities are represented without kicking out those who actually won the election. So basically, she wants to null and void and make the election process absolutely meaningless, worthless, and useless. That's what's going to. Oh well, there's too many white people are like. So let's have some other. Well, I'm going to appoint some other people, some other kids. So it's a better representation. But that's not what your kids voted for. Oh, but who cares, right? Because what do kids know? They don't know nothing. They don't know who they want or what they want. But this is the kind of stuff that these kids grow up learning this stuff, and then they get out into the real world, and then instead of standing up for their rights, they realize that those who are in authority, they trump what the people want anyway. And then, of course, the white kids are probably just being taught to be ashamed of being white. Oh, how dare you be elected? That's just, you're in a non-white school, and you're white, and you got elected, which means all these non-white kids had to vote for you, too. I guess that doesn't count.